homemaker, your property manager with a personality, back with another video. And I just want to say welcome to the night shift. So this is the time where my kids are usually have been waking up at pretty odd hours of the night. And instead of using that time of frustration and just really like feeling like lost time, I wanted to make that time purposeful. But Also, the Lord has shown me it's a time of process, right? And it's a time where He will be using for me, as well as others who may see this, to really be intentional about self, to be really intentional about what He's doing in our lives and how He's doing it in our lives, and to allow God to prune us and grow us and shape us in the way that He wants to. So a few things that we have been talking about up until this point is becoming a student of you. Becoming a student of you, super important. We will pay for any other skill education and everything else, but we will not just take time to study ourselves, understand ourselves, to go back to the source, to go back to God, and really find out who we are in Him. So that was one of the things that we were diving into. The second thing that we were diving into for part one is what happens when it's true what they say about you. What happens when it's true what they say about you? And one of the things that we kind of looked at last time is that sometimes it's extra frustrating when somebody says something about us, because it's one of the things that God has already told us we need to work on, right? It's one of the weaknesses and one of the flaws that God has already been trying to push us in or direct us on, or have us redirecting. And we've just not done it, right? We've procrastinated with our own growth. We've procrastinated with our own development. And then when somebody else recognizes that flaw in us, it makes us mad, at least for myself, right? So I can only speak for me, but those of you who agree, those of you who that resonates with, those of you who that sits with as well, then put it in the comments, right? Check that like button, because if it hits you hard, that's okay, because now we know it's an opportunity for change. It's an opportunity for growth once we allow the Lord to touch that thing, to deal with that thing, to identify it. So the second part of that, and I'll hop right to it because of course my 2-year-old is up, but I do have my little baby who should be getting up soon as well. So we're going to dive right into it. And again, the idea here for the night shift is really to bring up the thought that provokes you, right? The thought that hopefully provokes you to change. I can't make you change. I can't do the work to make you change. But the thought is to provoke you enough to change, where you go back to Father, where you go back to God and ask Him to deal with you on that particular thing, as He's dealing with me. So the second part of that is, not only do we get upset because it's a flaw, it's a weakness, it's a thing that God has already told us we needed to deal with, right? And in our own procrastination, somebody else has not recognized this flaw. But possibly at times it's because we have heard that thing before, right? Because it's not been the first time we've heard it. And that can be multiple ways, right? It could be where somebody else has told us the same thing. So multiple people are telling you the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. You might want to actually evaluate yourself, right? Because if it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, then it may just very well be a duck. And sometimes we cannot recognize ourselves or the things within ourselves until somebody else really points that out. And sometimes the truth does hurt, right? Now, should our loved ones be offensive, intentionally offensive? No. Should our loved ones seek to hurt us? No. But sometimes, by default, the truth hurts, period. And before you get upset, and I had to learn this for myself, I'm still practicing it. Before I get upset, I have to take a deep breath and I have to say, is this true? Was it delivered on a garbage can lid? Maybe. Right? Could they have said it a better way? Maybe. But is this true? And I have to start with that base there. right? So that's one way, is that somebody else could have said it. Multiple people could have said the same thing. But there's a different aspect to it, because for me, it wasn't that other people were telling me the same thing. It was the repeat conversation that I've had in my own head. So sometimes when it comes to our flaws, our weaknesses, things that people are saying about us or talking about us, I truly believe, at least for myself, I am my own worst critic. I am my own worst critic. There is nothing that anybody could say about me that I have not said about myself 50 times over. Literally nothing anyone can say about me that I have not said about myself 50 times over, if it's true. And when it comes to that conversation in your head, and this is where loved ones beware, loved ones be on notice, that if you are dealing with somebody who is already critical of themselves, when it comes to that conversation in their head, those negative thoughts, those negative things, those negative ideas, those are on automatic replay in the brain. Automatic replay all day, every day, automatic replay all day, every day. So then when you open your mouth to speak, especially depending on how you say it, that's why how you say something is very important. My grandmother used to always say, it's not what you say, but it's how you say it. And that's very important, because you never know what somebody's dealing with. You never know what somebody is dealing with. And depending on how you say it, now you have come through and you have added to the negativity in their own mind. And for me, I had to deal with the conversation in my head before I dealt with anything else. I limited my own self. I believed the junk and the garbage myself, right? And that belief, whether good or bad, will turn into action. So if you believe that you're basic, if you believe that you're not good enough, if you believe that you are less than, you will begin to act and treat yourself that way. You will begin to deny yourself opportunities because of the belief that you have in your head. When the word says, be transformed by the renewing of your mind, that is not a recommendation. It is the blueprint. It is the blueprint to success. It is the blueprint to elevation. It is the blueprint to going after and getting all that God has in store for you. It is the blueprint. It is not a recommendation. It is important that you truly do focus on, think on, ponder on. It is important that you think on those things that are good, that are true, that are noble, that are just, that you think on those things. That's not a recommendation. It's not a recommendation that you take every thought captive. That is not a recommendation. It is necessary to the fulfillment of your destiny. And when we believe that, we will truly move and take action in a way that will change our entire life. It is so definitely important for myself. And it's almost like, I don't know, it's almost like for me, it was like a threat type thing. When somebody would say something or notice something that was flawed with me or wrong with me, I sought perfection. It's almost like I needed perfection, even doing things like getting on live or, just doing these things that are out of the box, so uncomfortable for me, where anything could happen that's not in my control. I'm purposefully, I'm intentionally setting myself up for those things, so now I can break myself out of the box, right? So I can break down the barrier that I had placed up in my own life. And it's important for me to do that to get to my next level. And you go ask the Lord, is that something that is stopping you? Because what we do at times, and even if it is true, thank you, Lord, even if it is true what somebody said about you, right? Do not take something that is just simply for a season. For a season, I was foolish. For a season, I was reckless, right? For a season, I was self-damaging. For a season, I was destructive in my mind. For a season. But do not take a part of your journey, a part of your process, a part of just a season of your lifespan and attach that to your DNA and say that's who you are. Are we all flawed? Yes. Do we all fall short? Yes. Are we all weak? Yes. But don't take a seasonal thing and apply it to a lifetime. It is okay to say that used to be me. It is okay to say, yes, that has been me. Or I've displayed those characteristics in the past. Here is how the Lord is delivering me. I'm in the process of my deliverance. I'm in the process. It's okay to be in your process, but do not wear that as your DNA. So what I charge for today is that you do take a look at yourself. You do evaluate yourself. You do get out your pen, your paper, your notebook. My notebook is right over there on my desk. But get out that pen, that paper, that notebook, and begin to write those things down. I'm telling you, there is nothing new under the sun, baby. What somebody say about you is not new, especially if it's true. That's something that you know. And if you don't know, you know the one who does. That's the Lord Almighty. Not only is God going to be able to identify things within you, but he's going to be able to tell you what to do with them. And that's more important than anything. That's more important than anything. So that's my challenge for you all today. Do that and know and understand that it's going to come a time too where somebody says something about you and it's going to make absolutely no sense, right? And it could have been true in your past, but because it's not your future, it will make no sense. It'll be like somebody looking at me and telling me I'm purple, right? That may be funny, but I would care less because I know that without a shadow of a doubt, I'm not purple. So why would it matter? And it would be the same thing about fill in the blank, whatever your fill in the blank thing is. That's one day somebody is going to look at you and they're going to say something about you. And even if it was true in a season of your past, it is going to be so far removed from you. It won't faze you. All right? So you guys, I'm going to go ahead and this little one fell back asleep. So I'm going to go ahead and get her back down to bed. But you guys take what you need and you get on about your business. I'll see y'all soon. Bye.